Hey guys, KillerJake99 here. Welcome back to Fallout 4. Today we're going to be going over the logic gates, and I'm going to do a little bit of a tutorial on how they work. Now the red is the input, and the black is the output. So here I just have some switches. These switches, all they do is allow me to toggle on or off the power. So we're going to start with the AND gate because that's the simplest. It's basically the foundation for all of the other logic gates. So AND gates, according to the game, act like switch, transmit power not depending on the combination of power to their output inputs, and as an AND gate, it transmits power if all inputs have power. So, for example, this is transmitting power to this because all of the inputs, there's only one input, has power. And the output is here. Now this is not transmitting power because only one of the inputs has power. So if we activate the second one, now all inputs have power and the output now has power. You can see in this, you can see input 1, output 1, input 1, input 1, output 1. But if I turn this off, input 1, input 0, output 0. So 1, basically it's like a basic variable. 1s and 0s. 1 means yes, 0 means no. So for these gates, is it receiving power? If yes, there's a 1 there. If no, there's a 0. And same thing with outputting power. So unless both of the inputs of the AND gate are 1, the conduit output will be 0. So if they are both 1, the output will be 1 for an AND gate. So next, we shall go over to the OR gate, because that is the second simplest. This OR gate means if one input has power, then all of them have power. So here we have an AND gate and an OR gate. So as long as one of these things has power, the light will light up. So now this, it's flashing red. The lights don't really mean anything usually, but here you can see input 0, input 1, output 1. Input 1, input 1, output 1. Input 1, input 0, output 1. And now everything is 0. So basically, for OR gates, well, for AND gates, it's everything connected to red must have power for black to output. With OR, as long as one input to red has power, it'll output power. So we're going to start in the early morning, I guess. And I have them set up here. So we're going to start with the easiest gate. This would be the... Oh, not that one. The OR gate. This one is fairly straightforward. Now, according to the game... according to the game's own system, the OR gate acts like a switch and transmits power or not depending on the combination of power or their inputs. And additionally, it'll transmit power if any input has power. So let's see if it follows that. So here we have an AND gate hooked up to the OR gate. Okay, we're not going to do OR gates first. Next, we will go to the XOR. Now this one transmits power if exactly one input has power. So this is in the category of AND, OR, and XOR. Now, according to this, as long as one input has power, exactly one input has power, it'll transmit power. So we've got an AND gate and an XOR logic gate. So this is on. And as you can see, in 1, in 0, out 1. Turn this one on, it's off. Turn this one off, it's on, because now we're back to only one being connected. So in 0, in 1, out 1. So as long as one of them has power, you'll be fine. Here's a NOR gate. Now, according to the rules, NOT and NOR gates both transmit power when no inputs have power. Now, for some reason, these seem to be kind of broken. And I'll show you why in a second. So right now, it's outputting power. If this is on, it stops. Because in 1, in 0, out 0. Now, I don't know which one of these has power. None of these... oh, wait. This one does have power. Okay, never mind. My bad. So, when off, in 0, out 1. That's how it's supposed to be. With this one on, same thing. In 0, in 1, out 0. However, if I remove this, let's say I just disconnect this, right? Okay. And now I turn this off. I don't know why it does this. Apparently, for some reason, if it's connected to only 2, it doesn't work. Now, if I connect this, it still doesn't work. But if I connect this, all of a sudden it's powered. Or all of a sudden it works. So I'm not quite sure why these NOR gates don't work how they're supposed to. Now we'll move over to NOT gates. NOT gates, yes. Shut the fuck up, Piper. I don't care what you have to say. Drug addict. Anyway. So here we have AND logic gates, of course. The only gate... so, basically, every single gate on all of these is an AND gate, except for the one that I'm testing. So, as you'll see, these are all AND gates. AND gate, AND gate, AND gate. Oh, just to be clear, so basically, for some reason, this needs to be connected to there, this needs to be connected to there, in order for that to be powered. Don't know why. It doesn't explain it, and there is no explanation, it just doesn't work how it's supposed to. Now, with NOT gates, these are supposed to follow the exact same thing as the other one. Now, if I just move this here, you'll see it's basically the same setup as over there. So none of these have power, but if I turn on one, that shuts off. If I turn on this one, it shuts off as well. So, but again, the issue comes when I do that. Now, it doesn't matter. Why this works the way it does, I don't know. Basically, NOR and NOT gates are identical, and I don't think that they're supposed to be like that. And additionally, it doesn't work how it's supposed to. Now, with NAND gates, according to the game, it says NAND gates... oh, NOT, NAND, NOR, and XNOR gates only transmit power if their inputs are connected directly to the output of other logic gates, according to whatever. Now, NOT and NOR transmit power when no inputs have power. NAND gates transmit power unless all inputs have power. So, for example, this is the NAND gate. Right here. Okay? Now, for some reason, I couldn't get this to work the right way. I had to connect this one to an AND gate, and connect the AND gate to another AND gate, and then connect that to the NAND gate. I don't know why. So, one input has power, and then that. So, let's see, what does it say? transmits power unless all inputs have power. So basically, as long as one input has power, or as long as one input doesn't have power, you'll be fine. So you can set it up so you have 40 different inputs. As long as only one of them doesn't have power, your NAND gate will output power. So, for example, if you had 40 switches connected to 40 separate AND gates, and all of those AND gates were connected to this, you could have any number of them on. As long as one of them is off, you will output power. And now we move to XNOR, which transmits power when all inputs are the same. This one is another very simple and easy one. So, here is your XNOR gate. So when they're all on, it works fine. However, this is broken as well. When they are all off, they do nothing. Now, if I don't know if I need to do this, or connect this to here. That doesn't even make any sense. And I connect this to there. Alright, so even still, it doesn't work. So all of these, all the NOR and NOT gates do not work how they're supposed to. I'm sorry. Which ones don't work? NOR, NOT, and XNOR do not work how they're supposed to. The XNOR does work in one important way. As long as you have all of the switches powered on, it will output power. It's supposed to be where if they're all powered off, it should output power as well, but it doesn't, because it doesn't work that way, because it's broken. So, overall, I'll go over it quickly what each one does. OR. Each input, for OR gates, for OR inputs, as long as the input has power from at least one source, it will output power. XNOR. As long as all inputs have power, it will work fine. It is broken where it's supposed to output power when all inputs have either the same unpowered or powered state, but it only works with powered states at the moment. XOR works when one input has power. AND gates work when all inputs have power. NAND gates work when at least one input has power, as long as there is at least one unpowered input. NOT and NOR gates work when no inputs have power, but they are broken to the point where they will only work in a configuration similar to this, where one switch powers one AND gate that's off, another switch powers two AND gates that are off and connected separately to the inputs. I don't know why. Overall, logic gates are fairly easy to understand. However, they do come with a certain learning curve and a complication, and setting them up properly together is a big challenge for some. However, overall, it is not easy to learn them when they're broken. And unfortunately, at least 3 of them don't work the way that they're supposed to. It is unfortunate, but overall, I believe that at some point Bethesda will hopefully patch it, and if not, a mod will come out at some point to patch it. So that is the very basics of what you can do, or the very basics of how each one individually works. Of course, not technically individually, because they're all connected to AND gates as well, but an AND gate is basically just a a transmitter when they're only hooked up to one. So anyway, that is how the logic gates work, or most of them. Unfortunately, some of them do need to be fixed, and I hope that Bethesda gets on that and patches it. So that's going to do it for this episode. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.